That was awesome. Do you hear the boldness? Do you hear the conviction? He believes in what he's doing, and he transfers that confidence and that belief to his client. So it just makes it easy for Vinny to pick up checks because he transfers that. I mean, incredible. Great job, Vinny. Appreciate you sharing all of that with us. All right, next up we have Mr. Dan Beardo. One thing I love about Dan is this. He is a student of the business. When he started his first year, he's been around about 4 years, about the same time as Vinny, 4.5 years or so. And his first year, not much to write home about. He was learning, and he was absorbing, and he was picking up things. And he has evolved into one of the most well-rounded agents that we have in our organization. If you look on the year-to-date producer list, Dan's name is up there in the top 50. If you look on the year-to-date annuity list, Dan's name is up there. If you look on the year-to-date Medicare list, Dan's name is up there. Because he's not a one-trick pony.
That's right.
He doesn't just go in, make the easy sale, and then take off. He is serving his clients. He is constantly looking, and he's looking for ways. He uses the whole portfolio. We got 50 carriers. We got all kinds of different crazy products. And part of your job is to learn how to use the whole portfolio. Use every club in your bag so that you can become the best player you can be. And one of the best I know is Mr. Dan Murdo. So from Myrtle Beach, bring him up, Dan!
Hello, hello. A lot of people in this room. Let's all stand up and stretch real quick. Sit down. Now, do you see how easy that was? To follow instructions, do what you're told, don't put your own thoughts into it, don't put your own bias on it. And I think because you weren't worried that something was going to harm you. I think a lot of new agents specifically, they're afraid of the portfolio, right? Gina did an awesome job simplifying it. And I think when we see the 50 carriers, when we see they each have 10 to 15 products, we just get blank-faced, right? And so I just kind of want to tell you about my journey and where I started and how I got to this place. And it wasn't overnight. Adam said it's been a 4 or 5 year journey to get to that point. But I also applied myself. I didn't wish that it was going to happen, right? Adam told us what happens when we wish. So a little bit about me. My name is Dan Murdo. There's my wife, Deanna Murdo. I am originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Moved to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina when I was 22 years old. That was back in 2010. Met Miss Deanna, 2 months when I was down there. We ended up getting married 6 months later and have been down there ever since. Yeah, that's right. We knew we wanted to build something. We didn't know what. We wanted a business. We wanted freedom. We wanted to work for ourselves, but we were 22. Neither of us, I went to community college that didn't teach me anything. She went to school to be an English teacher, so she learned English, but business-wise, not so much. It's communist Russia. What do they know? And so we just started thinking, right? Have you ever had thoughts about, hey, if I was going to rob this place, how would I do it and get away with it? These were thoughts I had, right? The places I was working at, hey, I guess I do it on Halloween because you could wear a mask and no one would know. And then COVID happened, nobody robbed anything, and I didn't have the same thoughts. So we started just, thinking. We thought about doing kiosks at the mall, right? Hey, what if we bought toys from China and then sold them at a, 75% markup? Then we actually bought a restaurant. That was our first taste of actual adult business. We were 25 years old, and it was terrible. We did nothing, right? So it was the blind leading the blind. It was constant fighting between her and I. It was constant stress. It was constant worry. It was the happiness in the structure we thought was going to lead to was the exact opposite, right? And so ultimately we got out of that closed December 31st, 2017. I met Adam and Beth February 14th, 2018. And so kind of what I'm talking about is it's all about timing, right? I had been approached before to do insurance. I laughed at him. I'm a business owner. What do I do insurance for? Right? That was, my view was it was below me, right? There was a stigma I had, right? I thought people didn't need the products. I thought, not that it was a scam, but I thought it was not legit, not anything, right? And so why am I telling you what I thought about the insurance business before is because I've realized it's the exact opposite, right? Once I got in, I was slow because the first year I was still 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Now I was in all the way with Adam and Beth, but I was more so on the fence of whether I could be successful doing this. Does that make sense? And I'm sure there's people in this room that have those same thought processes. Yeah, I see Mia Fennell killing it. Of course she is. Look at her. Of course she's killing it. Right? Right? You know, oh, Terry and Tia, of course they are. You know, but can I do it? Know this, that they all started where you're sitting at right now. Right? I'm going to be walking back because I sat in the back row for 2 years coming to events, coming to meetings, hearing people talk. Was it stupid? Yep. But I came.
There you go.
Right? Now we're sitting in the front. Right? Because that's the importance of it. So it is a transition. It is a belief level. I think we've all been affected by life insurance, death, one way or the other. So I think inherently all of us know the value of life insurance. Going in and talking with clients about a term policy, a whole life policy, I think on the surface we have a belief in that, right? So it's kind of easy to have that initial conversation. And it was for me too, is, hey, we all know we're going to die, we all know we need these products. But then when it comes to the other products, like I'm not on Medicare, I know nothing about Medicare. How can I get passionate about Medicare? I don't even know what it is. I've never even heard of an annuity until I started here, right? I couldn't even spell it. Then I see Gina Hawks, I'm like, oh, she can't spell it either. I've been here for 5 years. I hear Terry Edwards saying minority everywhere. There's no R up in there. So the portfolio we have, and it really is the Alliance advantage. No other IMO, no other company, not State Farm, not Allstate, none of the brick and mortars have the resources, the products, the systems, the training that we do, right? And the realization I had a few years ago when I started getting into these products, specifically the annuities, but kind of when I got the gumption to start asking about, hey, Vinny crushed it, right? So you do what Vinny does, you pick up the check, you get the application. My first 2 years, I'm like, I gotta get out of here before they tell me no. Before they cancel, I gotta leave this house, right? And that was just my mindset. You're just worried that they're gonna say no. I don't know if you felt that, but that's how I felt. But once you start asking the questions, and I didn't know how to ask the questions, so I just said, hey, do you guys have a cancer policy? Do you want a cancer policy? Most of the employees already have one. Right? Or, do you guys go to the dentist? So I'm in South Carolina, not many people go to the dentist down there. So admittedly, we don't sell a ton of the dental plans. But you find out that the clients already have these products. So it hit me as, they're already buying these products, why don't they buy them from me? Right? If they're buying from somebody, it might as well be me. Right. I've already got their life business, right? I'm getting their annuity business. So it's like, they're already getting these products, so why not just offer it to them? I have a pet peeve. So first of all, before I say this, Brandon, Spencer, Mia, Terry, Adam, thank you for entrusting me to talk to your people. These are my views. If you get ticked off by what I say, fight me, don't fight them. I'm gonna draw something real quick. I broke it.
It was gross.
How many of you have read Simon Sinek? Anyone know who Simon Sinek is? Yeah. Okay. He wrote a book. He wrote a couple books, but he wrote a book called Start With Why. Okay. And what this book talks about is if you want to get people to move, if you want people to buy into your culture, if you want to buy into your organization, if you want them to buy a policy from you, if you want them to be your friend, if you want them to be your wife, if you want them to do anything, the number one thing that you have to get to is the why. Okay? Most people start from the out and go in. Okay? So when I started, just like many of you, I started to incorporate all these extra products, right? Medicare, dental, annuities. And I started here, and I would get shut down immediately, right? And that obviously didn't help my psyche. That didn't help my confidence, right? And the pet peeve I have, let me go to the back. It's usually people in the back. People that say, I want to educate my clients. I understand the sentiment of it, but your clients don't want you to educate them. They want you to help them. Right? So, a couple of analogies. When you go to the doctor and you say, here is my problem, he doesn't pull out a book or tell you, go read this book, chapter 2, 3, 4, come back and let me know what you think. He does not do that. Right? He tells you how to fix the ailment. So we rely on the doctor to read and educate themselves. That way we don't have to. Okay? You get your oil changed. The mechanic doesn't come out and say, well, we've got 4 different viscosities of oil. This one is if you're going to, drive your car 10 miles. This one's for 12 miles. This one's for 15 miles. But if you're going to do more than 15, you definitely don't want to do this one because you're going to do engine. And then if if it's hotter than 80 degrees, so which one do you want to go with? Right? That's what some of you are doing when you're with your clients. Right? You are starting with what and going to how. Right? You're telling them what oil does to the engine and how it does it. Your clients don't care. Right? Start with why. Hey, you need to get your oil changed. You're going to need a new motor in 6 months. Oh, all right, do it. Does that make sense? Another example. Because sometimes people fight this and they say, I don't operate that way. I'm someone that needs to know exactly how and what I'm doing. We call those people beavers. There's one. How many people here, we're in Raleigh, North Carolina, how many are diehard Carolina Panther fans? Anybody? Why? They've been terrible since here. Right? Because it's the why. It's not the how, it's not the what. Right? Does that make sense? Right? And so, if you were selling season tickets to NFL fans, what a lot of you are doing is you're saying, hi, you want to buy season tickets? Well, Kansas City Chiefs are the best team. You want to buy these tickets. And the client's going to say, I need to think about it. Why? Because you never even asked them which tickets they want to buy, which team they want to go see. Okay? So again, what does this have to do with the portfolio? Everything. Right? So find the problem. All our products are just solutions to problems. If you are not asking what the problem is, they're never going to buy from you. Right? It should never feel like they're buying anything from you anyway. Right? I'm sure Vinny will tell if your clients aren't high-fiving you and hugging you on the way out, right, you did a terrible job. That's a chargeback waiting to happen. right? If you haven't gotten the, thank God you're here, let's say a quick prayer, you're doing it wrong. And you're going to get frustrated, right? So kind of how do you, so like Belle Krause, what did she do? She started with the why. Let me tell you these stories of why this is important to me. She transferred her why onto them. She didn't say how it worked. She didn't talk about ages. She didn't talk about companies. She didn't even talk about premium. She actually said, you pick the premium. I'll let you guys decide the how and the what. I'm going to, you know, here's the why. And you do that with everything, right? It's just, it goes back to scheduling and having a plan, right? So Mia talked awesome about how to schedule your day. You got to have a schedule for the appointment, right? You got to know exactly what you're saying, why you say it, how you say it, right? If you just go in and say, I hope they buy something, they're not. They're not. Right? And then you're frustrated, you're upset, you don't know what you think the leads suck. They think the leads you. Right? So, and another thing, as new agents, what questions are we constantly asking our uplines? What do they start with?
Oh my goodness.
Right? You want to write annuities like Terry Edwards? Don't say, hey Terry, what do you say? Don't say, hey Terry, how do you say it? Terry, why do you say it?
That's good, Dan.
When you know why you're doing something, this stuff doesn't matter. The script doesn't matter. Right? Phone script doesn't. Why are you booking appointments? Right? And if you don't know why, then yeah, you need to know how and what. But if you know why you're doing it, it doesn't matter what you say. Right? Vinny knows. He just said, right? Hey, I'm coming over. You're gonna die. And 160,000 part-time. Right? But most of us are worried about this, saying, man, can't pay my bills. You're focusing on the wrong thing. Okay, so that's more the mindset. Now we will talk a little bit about how and the what. So, a couple things. During the initial conversation, right? So for me, rapport never meant just BSing with the client, talking about the weather, I don't do that. I mean, I break the ice, but I don't spend time BSing with them. For me, real rapport is finding out this from them. And them feeling that we're getting to their why, right? So it's just, you're just peeling back the layers. So you're almost starting here and then going out to this, right? So again, you start there, find out the why, then we figure out how we're going to fix it, and then we're going to tell them what's going to fix it, right? And that's just with all of the portfolio. And so we're just collecting information. So even if you don't need it for a life sale, right? So a question I love to ask is, hey, what type of work did you do? Who did you work for? Right? I was with a guy yesterday, told me he worked for Nabisco up in Maryland. Okay, oh, awesome. How long did you do that? You know, I did that 30 years. What did you do? I was a plant manager. You should have alarms in your head. Oh, he made good money. He had a retirement. He's 73 years old. He's still got that money. Somebody's got that money. And that somebody probably doesn't care about his why as much as I did. Right? So you write it down, you make a mental note, and you're asking questions about, you know, hey, obviously with life insurance, we're trying to plan when you're going to die. You know, are your parents still alive? They're not. Oh, okay, when did they die? How old were they? It doesn't matter what they say, right? Oh, how'd they die? Both of them had cancer. Don't say anything. Ding, 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 ding. Right? And so you go through that. You're just collecting information. You're not trying to sell them right there on it, but you are making notes. And again, this is why you have to schedule it. Because if you just go willy-nilly, you're not going to ask those questions. You're not going to know. And sometimes just being, candid, it happens to me. Right? Whether you're tired, whether you're hungry, if you're not focusing, you have to intentionally do it. If you don't, it's not going to get done. And so you help them with the life policy, and then just circle back. Hey, you mentioned, something I wanted to show you is you mentioned about both of your parents dying from cancer. Is that something that you worry about for yourself? Why? We're not talking about, I'm not saying, oh, Mutual of Omaha has a great cancer plan. You don't want to say, oh, for, hey, $15, Mutual of Omaha will get you $20,000 of cancer policy. No, you start with the why. Why would they want it? Right? Hey, are you getting screened? Obviously, it runs in your family. Have they found anything? Oh, one time they did a test. Now I got to go back in 6 months to see if it's anything. See if it's grown. Okay. If something did happen, I know you just bought this house. What's your wife going to do? So everything kind of just builds on top of each other, right? And so don't be intimidated by the products. You're going to learn them. You're going to learn them. So I'll leave you with this. Please, 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 don't be the person that goes to their upline and wants the upline to teach them everything. Right? We've got videos, we've got seminars, we've got meetings, we've got hotspots, we've got TWC. Take accountability for your craft. Right? Megan Wood, she knew about the products before anyone else even knew we had them. And she was selling them. Right? Mike Leventovich said, what the hell's the hospital indemnity plan? Megan was selling them. Right? Because Megan took the action to figure it out. Right? This is business. You're entrepreneurs. You need to have that figure it out ability. And by whining and complaining that you don't know how to do something, that's on you. It is. Right? So, figure it out. Don't be scared, right? And obviously, we're here to help you. We're here to support you. It's only paperwork. You can't screw it up, right? If you do, you just fix it. But just know, I'll leave you with this. Know your clients. They're already buying it. They need it. They want it. Just have the conversation with them, right? Last little tip. If you are ever uncomfortable asking somebody a question, say about their finances, about anything, tell them why you're asking it before you ask them. Right? So an example is, hey Mary, one thing we're doing now is we're helping a ton of people in your situation, kind of to help them with risk with the market. Right? So there are programs out there that you could guarantee you're not going to lose a penny in the market, and it's going to guarantee that retirement income for you. Pause. Do you have any retirement money that you'd want to do that for? Instead of just saying, you got any retirement money? Make sense?
Yeah.